What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Super7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ultimates Wave 12 figures featuring our 2003 Turtles. So really cool to get these. Now for me, the first series of Ninja Turtles that I watched was the 2003, so these are very nostalgic for me. Loved that show when I was younger and had all the action figures and everything. So very cool to have figures of the 2003 Turtles once again. So of course here we have all four Turtles, so Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello. Now unfortunately these don't seem to come with very much, like we'll each get their signature weapons, which is cool, an extra head and hands, and they all come with the shell phone, so like their old turtle phone, so that's pretty cool as well. But that's really all we get, no extra fun accessories or anything with them. But we did order these directly from the Super7 store, so we did get the head pack as well, so we got additional heads that we can put on each of the turtles, so that'll be very cool as well. So I'm excited to check these out, so let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So here we have our four turtles out of the box, and if you didn't know, they were from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series that aired for 7 seasons from 2003 to 2009. It was produced by 4Kids Entertainment along with Mirage Comics and animated by Donwu Animation. It was created as a darker, more mature, and adult-oriented series while still being appropriate for younger audiences. So as I said, growing up, this was the first animated turtle series that I watched, and of course I liked it, so to me it's very nostalgic with that. The turtles don't look exactly like I thought. You know how we got with the other Super 7 Turtles, they've looked more like the Playmates. These don't really look like the Playmates at all, so it's weird that they just kind of did their own independent thing with these, but I think they do look good, especially with the head designs and stuff. You do see that they do look like that 2003 series. Their bodies don't look as good because I feel they were like more fit, like muscular and everything, where especially with these they seem more fat in the midsections. But just looking at these turtles, to me they do look like the 2003 series, so I am happy with them in that way. But we're going to look at our turtles, we'll do one at a time, but of course go through everything here on Leonardo like we have in the past, and then we'll just look at the weapons and accessories stuff that come with all the other turtles. But we have Leonardo up first here, of course our leader of the Ninja Turtles. He is the most mature, and honor and responsibility are his priority, as well as taking care of his brothers, so we always got to start with Leonardo as our leader. Looks pretty good overall. Of course he's got the blue bandana, which looks nice again with the head design that we see more from the 2003 series, where it's got the more like angular designs to the face and more like prominent chin and all that, so it looks good there. He's got the darker green skin, or it should say more like an olive green, you know, kind of like, you know, the paled out sort of green, I don't know how to say it, but in a darker color. We had the front shell here on the yellow on the front, of course all the bands so around his waist and straps going around to hold his sword, so he has the sheaths there on him automatically at all times. And then they have more of that lighter green sort of shell color on there, looks good. But then we get the elbow wraps, the wrist wraps, and the knee wraps there, knee pads and elbow pads, so looks pretty good. Of course the 2 toes, 3 fingers, all the normal stuff for the turtle, so looks pretty good overall. I just really like the design. Now movement-wise, the head will twist around, so it'll twist all the way around. Of course, we do get the bandana as well, which will twist around. You can take it off and do whatever you want there, but you can't get it to move around for posing and all that, but allow the head to twist all the way around. Then it'll look down that far and up that far, so just a little bit of movement back and forth, so pretty nice there. So it feels like we get probably like a dumbbell joint up in the head, but then there's also a joint here at the lower neck that allows some movement around and twisting and stuff, so you get some better range in there. Then we get the shoulders that will come up to 90, and of course we'll rotate all the way around, getting stuck on the shell, so maybe not all the way around, it can, but you just kind of get stuck there. But then we get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint, so we get the double elbow joint, kind of hard to see there, but it will allow to bend up that far, which isn't bad at all. And there is twist in those, so in the top and bottom there are twists in those joints, so you get better movements all around with that. And the wrist will twist all the way around and flex. This looks like an up and down hinge hand there. Then we can go to the ab crunch, which isn't really going to be much, maybe even some you can kind of see a little cut out there, just a little bit of crunching back and forth and twisting, be more like at a waist. Then the hips will come up, you kind of force it there out to the side, especially can get up to 90, and then the hips themselves can come out to the side, so very close, pretty much doing the splits, but not fully there, but not far off at all either. Then we get the double knee joints, which will bend up that far, so really good, almost kicking themselves in the shell. Now, of course, this is very impressive for Super 7 because the last Turtles and all the other Super 7s we've had don't get that much range, so they've redone the joints and everything on these Turtles to get better movements. Oh, and with those joints, you get twist as well, so at the top of the knee and the bottom of the knee, you get some twist in there, which is nice. And then the foot will rock back and forth. Of course, we'll stiff on this one, but we'll rock back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty good range of movements overall, like I said, especially comparing them to the other Super 7s. Now, of course, with all the joints and like the knees and everything, you then have to get them worked out, get them straightened up so they look good, and get it so the turtles will stand up, because with their turtle shells and everything, they are pretty back heavy, so I do have issues with them falling backwards a lot. So you just kind of got to get their feet adjusted and then bend a little at the knees to get them standing properly. So again, that body breakdown will be the same for all 4 turtles, so we won't go over it again. Just remember what Leonardo has, all 4 will have the same. But for accessories, we do get an additional head. So we get this head that's got more of like a little posed up mouth design there, more of an reindeer design. Now I'm not sure which head I want to use because we get this head as well as the head that came with the additional bonus 4-pack. So we get this head as well, which has more of the closed mouth. And I think the mouths maybe go along with what the old figures have, like with the positioning of the mouth. I probably just cut that out, but all the turtles just dominoed, so they all just fell over. So like I said, there is issues getting them to stand still where their backs are too heavy. So unfortunately, like Raphael here, I have to like have him leaning forward some to get him to stand. So that is an issue with the figures that I've seen so far. Like good movements and everything, they're just super back heavy, so they fall down backwards a lot. So you gotta have them lean forward a little. But like I said, we get the different heads. Like I said, I don't remember the old turtles enough to know, but I think Leonardo had the closed mouth and some have more open mouth open to one side or the other, that sort of thing. So we get the different variations, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. Let's maybe at least switch to their extra head that they came with, and maybe it'll make them a little different. And of course, all the turtles fell over again, but there I got the head switched out. So that looks pretty good. So I'll probably just switch to the extra heads that they came with, just so we can have a little bit different variation, because I think for some of them, they look pretty good. So there's Leonardo with that. Then we get some additional hands. So we get a set of fist hands. So if you want to have them some fists, as well as the open hands here. So he's got these open, like with his 3 fingers spread out. Very long fingers. It's kind of crazy for that, but it's nice to have the different variation. They all come with the shell phone as well. So instead of a cell phone, we get the shell phone. So pretty nice. I don't think they really have hands that'll hold it like the open hands may be able, but you just have to have it sitting and their hands open, which would easily fall out. And of course, for Leonardo, we get his katanas. We get the 2 katanas. Obviously, we can put him into his back, so we'll just take them and slide them down in there just so you can see what it looks like. So there's the katanas in his back, but we'll go ahead and put him into his hands. So there's Leonardo with the 2 swords, so that looks really cool. And just to show you comparison to the other turtles, I was talking about the other Super 7 turtles, here's the Leonardo from that as well, so you can see the difference in the height variations. Again, the old ones were based more off the old Playmates toy design, so I went with that compared to the 2003 versions, but Leonardo looks really cool there, so really like that design and think it looks pretty awesome for him. Next up, we have Raphael, which is the strongest, most temperamental, and hostile of the brothers, but his deep love for his family makes him that way. So it looks pretty good. Of course, he has the darker skin, as we can see. As usual with Raphael, he has the red bandana, so it looks good with his face sort of posed up there with an angry look, which is perfect for him, so that's nice. And like I said, with Leonardo, everything's going to be the same, except doesn't have the strap that comes around, so he just has the belt around his waist. No real specific spots to store his size or anything. Like, obviously, there's some gapping on the side here, so we can just store him down in the side there if we want. But as I said, he does have the darker green skin, so that stands out. And the shell, I think the shells may be different colors. Well, I can't tell exactly. It's like from here, it looks like the shells are different colors, but to me, this kind of looks exactly like Leonardo. So not much variation with that in the body, just the color of the skin, and then of course their bandana colors. But for his accessories, we get the additional head that'll probably switch out, like I said, so get more of like a yelling head. And from that extra pack, we get this head with the gritted teeth. So again, either one would look really good for Raphael, but I think I'm gonna go with the heads they came with, like this. So there's got more of that yelling head. Then for hands, we get the exact same hands we got with Leonardo. So we get a set of fist hands, as well as the set of like flatter palm hands there with the fingers open, and the shell phone once again. So I think they'll all come with those exact accessories. And then of course his weapon of the 2 sides with the red wrapped handle. So that looks good. Like I said, you can maybe stick them in the side. Looks like we have some gapping over here on the side, but maybe just stick them down in the side there. But we'll go and just put these in his hand. So there Raphael has the size in his hands there, just like that. And of course, can get his bandana situated kind of there, sticking up. So it looks pretty good overall for Raphael. Really like that design overall for him. And next up, we have Michelangelo, which is the energetic, laid-back, carefree, and mischievous of the brothers that likes to mock and tease his family and enemies while throwing out pulp culture references. So Mikey looks pretty cool. Again, darker skin like Raphael. It is still a different shade of green, I believe. You like holding them up here together. I can tell the difference maybe through the camera. They don't really seem off, but to me, they do look a little bit different. Like I said, maybe like one little shade difference or something with it, but still looks good. Of course, have the orange bandana around his head there, hanging off, and everything else should be exactly the same to Raphael here. No, no additional straps or anything. And again, no like storage around his waist or band there, so just have the open space to the side. We could stick his nunchucks in if we don't want him to hold him. But as usual with the accessories, we get the additional head that came with him, so that one's a smile, so that's pretty good. And then also from the extra pack, we get this big smile with the wings, so that looks pretty good for Mikey as well. But I think I'll just go with the more subtle smile. So there's that head on him. Again, comes with the same hands. So the set of fist hands and the open fingered palm hands and the shell phone once again. But of course we get his weapon accessories of the nunchucks. So we get the orange handled nunchucks, which look good. So we can put these into his hand. So there's the nunchucks in his hands. Now, unfortunately, you don't really get much posed up ability with nunchucks because they just have to kind of hang there and everything. But we do get the extra accessory of the spinning nunchuck effect. So the nunchucks do come off, like the white piece here does come off of them. So you can take this part of the nunchucks off, and then we can attach these onto the sticks that he still has in his hand. So with those, you can get more dynamic effects. So it makes it look like he's actually, more pose up fighting, spinning his nunchucks there. So you get the nice swirl effects for that. So that looks really cool for Michelangelo. Love having those effects added with him. And that leaves us with Donatello, which is the brains of the bunch. That is smart, thinks things through, and is a skilled technician with great interest in science and education. So of course, Donatello, always my favorite turtle, looks good here. Now he has the skin tone more similar to Leonardo, but he has the lightest skin tone out of all of them. So like the more palish green out of all of them. So looks good though, but still more of that olive green. Of course, as the purple bandana, just has a little smile on his face, similar to what the Michelangelo had there. And just overall looks pretty good in his turtle shape and form. Now he does have the slot in the back for his bow staff, so we can store that there if we want to as well. But for accessories, we get an additional head. This one has more of an angry look to it, with some of his teeth right there showing off the side. And then the extra pack came with this one showing the bunch of teeth there. So different variations of Donatello. Not really sure which ones I like the most. I may just leave this normal one, maybe the gridded one. I'm not really sure how it would work because he also comes with a pair of goggles that we can put onto his head. So I feel with the heads may be easier to get on this one, but I'm not sure. So you can wear the goggles on his head like that. Of course, you can always just try and put them on his head, but they don't really sit on too well. And I do have it under his bandana to help hold it on, but yeah, it doesn't really just sit on his head too well. I don't know if you'd have to adjust it, but you can do that. Of course, that looks funny. He really looks turtley there with the big cute turtle eyes, so you have that option with the goggles. We also get the additional set of hands, so the fist hands and the open splayed out finger hands, as well as the shell phone. And then, of course, he comes with his bow staff. So the bow staff with the purple wrappings there in the middle looks cool. Of course, we can put this into the slot here on his back. Just store it there on his back. But let's put it into his hand. So there's Donatello with the bow staff, and I did switch that head out as well to a more angry look since he'll be ready for fighting. So Donatello looks good there as well, so really love that. And that gives us our 4 turtles now all posed up with their weapon accessories. So looks pretty good there for our complete team of the 2003 turtles. So let me know what you thought of the 2003 turtles. I thought they're overall pretty good. I like the movements a lot more since obviously you get a lot better range and everything. I just wish they came with more accessories. Like, I liked how Donnie came with the goggles, just something extra that we could actually give to them that'd be from the show or some besides just their weapons, which of course just their weapons are fine with me. Like that we got the additional heads with the boxes as well as that additional bonus pack as well, so we had different head options to pose them up however we want to express their personalities the most, which I think the way they are here are pretty good. But overall, I just think they're pretty cool turtles. Like I said, I wish they looked more like they did from the show with much like skinnier bodies and stuff compared to these looking so fat, but still pretty cool designs and awesome that we finally got a representation of the 2003 turtles. So let me know your opinion on the turtles down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.